Hi folks. I decided to start darning the sock. This is my favorite Santa sock. I started doing this half an hour ago and I'm still not done because both of them have so many holes. So I'm going to be finishing up this sock for the next 10 minutes because I have one naked foot that is very cold right now. This is a sock that Grandma once darned for me, but the holes have enlarged and worsened. So I'm going to darn it one last time. And I think after this darning, this sock will have to go into retirement. People are honking. There's noise as usual. Happy Sunday. It's a chill Sunday. Is this live working for y'all? Because it's not loading on my screen. I have no idea if I'm talking to people or not. But if you can see me, let me know you can see me. If you can hear me, let me know if you can hear me. I'm still streaming on my Pixel 2 XL, which was Aaron's hand-me-down. So this phone is doing double time right now. This is my only phone after my Pixel 6a got lost and stolen. So we're gonna be streaming off of this ancient phone for as long as it'll give us. And then who knows what will happen. Who knows what will happen. Yeah, 25 people is pretty good. I mean, I have potato quality streams. Life has presumably resumed for most people out there. And maybe they're stressing out about a lot of shit. Because there's a lot of shit to be stressed about right now. So, welcome the 25 of you who are here. Thank you for joining me. I will be rinsing my Sunday farmer's market greens after I finish darning the sock. And I bought some salmon bones from H Mart. Not cheap actually, but I guess not expensive all things considered. I bought like $3.65 ish worth of salmon bones that I plan on roasting in the oven alongside some veggies, and we'll just snack. And I really want to eat up the last of Grandma's dumplings. She passed away in January, and I have like 2 or 3 straggling dumplings from the bags that I never unfortunately got to feed her. So I want to finish those off today. And yeah, I didn't go live last week because I haven't been feeling very good. I think my hormones are really out of whack. I skipped an entire menstrual cycle last month, and I just got mine this month, and I'm very exhausted, and it feels like my body is trying to bleed doubly to make up for lost time. So yeah, I don't know how all of yours health is holding up, but I am doing my best, but not feeling great. My joints have gotten even worse in the last month. I can't climb my apartment stairs anymore. I have to take the elevator. They hurt a lot. Don't quite know exactly what's causing this much pain to happen. If it is osteoarthritis, it is onsetting very quickly. It's barely taken like 3-4 months for it to progress to the state where I can't really put weight on it as I'm bending it. I have noticed though that like hinging at the hips help with the pain, But obviously I can't really like hinge at the hips with every step that I take. It's just so weird, especially when I'm next to other people. I have like my butt sticking out all the time by hinging my hips. But it does seem like hinging my hips help with the knee pain. I'm not really sure what the mechanism there is. I guess I can go to physical therapy, but I didn't really like my last physical therapist appointment. I felt like there was a lot of not listening to me and a lot of diagnosing in a very confident and haughty way that I have kind of burned out of over the last year of seeing doctors here and there. So I've been trying to like watch a lot of YouTube shorts about physical therapy on the knees and the hips, and you know, they're all kind of connected. So I've been trying to do some sort of physical therapy exercises on my own at home. And sometimes it feels better and sometimes it feels worse, and I'm not really sure what to do, but I do know that I have to keep moving, so that's what I'll do. My stream keeps spinning on my laptop. I have no idea if this is working for anyone else, and I'm deeply sorry if this live does not work. But this is the technology that I have left, and hopefully you guys can see this because I cannot. I have one more hole on this sock, guys. Yes, it is Santa Claus socks. It's very cute. I think it's a pair of free socks that I got from Kmart when I still had like these random point systems. But I have one more hole, so we'll see if we can try to patch this up a little bit. Not sure why my own live isn't loading for me. That's strange. But my phone says we're still live, so I guess exclusive vision for those of you who can see. I have been having some very interesting dreams this past week, like extremely interesting dreams. I had one dream where it was absolutely devastating because for some reason I basically sent memo to his death in one dream and like put him in the oven. I don't know if it was because maybe I've been having anxiety about like his health and when he's gonna die. And maybe in the dream, like that was the representation of having to put him to sleep. You know, when the time comes for him to get euthanasia'd. But I remember that dream being so emotionally devastating. I remember kind of like staring at Memo in the oven, which had like a visible window, and just feeling so much pain inside and hoping that he wasn't feeling the pain of like basically getting burned alive. But I didn't see him get incinerated in the dream. In the dream, he just looked like he was asleep in the oven. He looked like he was taking a nap in the oven. And it was like very morbid of a dream. It's not very usual for me to feel really all this kind of loaded emotions. I have a lot of panic dreams where like either a monster or an assassin is chasing me, and I have like pretty strong feelings of anxiety, But feelings of like deep grief and pain like this, very rare for me in dreams. So that was a very, very interesting dream. Then I had another dream, and it was almost like it could have been like a lesbian sex dream, except it turned really hilarious. Um, and it was kind of like jumbled in with a lot of other events, like discovering that my likeness had been used and fabricated in an ad, and like I basically had to watch this video of what looked like me but was not me. Um, and my face was advertising this product that wasn't being advertised. But anyway, the main part of the dream was me in a room, I guess like hooking up with a girl, or a woman rather. She definitely didn't give off girlish vibes. But like we never got to the sex part. What I do remember really sticking with me though was that like we were like she was undressed, and I saw this like really almost like cartoonish appearance of vagina dentata. I don't know if you guys ever saw the movie Teeth, but I basically had my own version of Teeth in this dream. It was hilarious. And I just remember us both laughing at it. So that was a relatively chill dream, but a really strange dream nonetheless. I have not been smoking this week at all, so I have no idea where all of these dreams are coming from, by the way. It's like very, very interesting and unclear what's propelling so many dreams and like very heightened states of cognition dreams. I feel like they're not very like boring dreams. And then finally I had one this morning that like was kind of boring, but it also was kind of puzzling, because the dream was that I had woken up and I found one of my kettlebells like empty of weight. It felt like it was hollow. It was just like a plastic hull. And I was like, where did the weight go in my kettlebell? And I realized that apparently the kettlebell had like this kind of gel that was weighting it down. And the gel had basically leaked out of the bell. And the rest of the dream was me trying to like go back on my Amazon purchases to see if I could file a complaint. And I couldn't ever get to the order page for that kettlebell. I never found when I ordered that kettlebell, and I couldn't log a complaint. So that's my weekend review in dreams. Feel free to psychoanalyze me however you want. But I thought that was very, very interesting. And I guess there's a lot going on in my brain. I ran out of thread, so I didn't get to really patch that up, but whatever. I'm gonna wear it, and we're gonna start cooking because I'm hungry. And my foot was very cold. Okay, I'm gonna put my needle away. I'll BRB. I feel like mentally I've become more and more aware of this like psychological state of fight or flight or freeze. I feel like psychologically I'm in a freeze state, and I feel like it's because so many things keep happening and they don't seem to stop happening, and it's getting just too much to process, not even handle. I can't even start processing any of the news cycle anymore. So I almost feel like, I don't know if you guys saw that Black Mirror episode. It was the holiday special episode. John Hamm was in it, and it's about, you just see John Hamm and this other man in a cabin, and this other man starts telling a story. And all this time they're in this cabin, and it's like snowing outside, and the story is happening as it's being told by this man, but the setting that you're presently in is in this cabin, in this very snowy landscape. And I almost feel like my life is kind of in that cabin right now, where mentally there's stuff happening as I'm telling myself stories or as other people tell me stories. But like physically, I just feel like I'm in a time capsule almost. And nothing is really changing, and it almost feels like time has frozen, but shit keeps happening even though time has frozen. It's very weird. I don't know how y'all are perceiving the present time. But it's getting very exhausting to keep up with all of this. I see there's currently 46 people watching me. I still can't see myself on the screen, and I see some people commenting. So hopefully you can see me. I'm gonna finish watching my veggies, and then we'll start putting things in the oven, and not Memo, hopefully today. I bought some Japanese turnips, I bought some string beans, I bought some arugula from the farmer's market, I have some lamb's quarters that I haven't washed yet. This is my first change of water, so I'm going to go ahead and dump this water. And re-rinse everything. So tell me, with these tips of beans, do you chop them off? Are they edible? Are they poisonous? What's the deal? I so rarely buy beans straight from the farmer's market, so I have no idea really how you should be prepping them. But I remember my parents kind of snapping the ends off, so I guess I will snap them off. Scissors might be more efficient. shooting bean tips everywhere. I am going to be cooking some salmon bones, some vegetables. I'm going to be cooking some of my leftover dumplings. You know, I don't have a set menu, guys. I just wing it. I buy ingredients that feel like they're either curious, appetizing, or a good price. And then I find stuff to do with it. And that's usually how I buy things. I don't really have an idea of what I want to eat for the week. I just go with the flow and let the deals and the appetite guide. Oh, that arugula is so spicy. I think we're gonna have to cook that. Ooh. I forgot how spicy farm fresh arugula is. Ooh. So since you guys can hear me, but I can't see myself, I'm gonna pop out the chat and close down my video window. And you know, if I ever just disappear offline, it's probably some tech issue. Let me pop out this chat. Yes, let me know, please. Thank you. I'm very excited to be cooking today because I feel like I got a lot of interesting ingredients, but we'll see what my energy does for the day. I went late to the farmer's market today and all this arugula cost just $3. Sometimes a late bird gets the deal. These are my radish greens, or my turnip greens rather. I think I'm just going to cook them all together, blanch them. Might go ahead and bring out Mom's soup pot for the blanch. It's 3 a.m. Why are you awake at 3 a.m.? Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious, y'all. You guys, I do not want you not sleeping. 3 a.m. 3 a.m. Goodness gracious. Okay, so you're 12 hours flipped. You're in Asia somewhere. Pumpkin puree. Yum. I went to H Mart today. I bought some tofu. I also bought some tok, the rice cakes, the flat ones, not the tubular ones. So I'm gonna cook all these greens, and then whatever grains and carbs I make throughout the week, I can just add some in. It'll be really, really nice and convenient, nutritionally speaking. That's gonna take a while to come up to boil, so I'm gonna start chopping. Apparently, eating leftovers increases the histamine content of your food, which might be contributing to a lot of my ailments. But I was thinking about how, like, all those, like, frozen food meals, like, those must not be good for you either in terms of histamine, right? If that's the case. I don't know if there's anyone who's versed in nutrition in the chat, but who has it's such a luxury to be able to cook every day, you know, from scratch. Who has that time and the means to do that anymore? So that's probably why we're all so unhealthy. But I figured eating some vegetables, even if leftover vegetables, is better than not eating any vegetables. So Every time I go out to the recycling bin, I see these salad containers, and I think about how much more use I could get out of my neighbor's salad containers. Like, I've been using these for 2 years. They're so handy for rinsing produce, for chopping produce in, for storing produce in the fridge in. Man. But I guess people would rather buy bowls that look pretty and whatnot. I don't know. These just feel very functional to me, though. They're rectangular, so they fit well in the fridge. Easy to stack. Basically unbreakable unless you melt it accidentally on the stove. I unfortunately was putting away some cooked pears in the fridge last night, and the lid, the glass lid off the pot, ended up slipping and crashing into pieces on the floor. And I was like, darn. It's a lot of glass shard to clean up. Plastic, even though it's, you know, technically not super healthy, has its uses. And that is why it is so prevalent. I just wish that people who use plastic use it a little bit longer before tossing it. Because I don't think we're actually recycling the recyclables anymore, are we, as a society? I feel like that's been debunked. Alrighty. Gonna throw in a little bit of salt in there. It's leaf blower time, y'all. 3:41. Every day without fail. Really makes me want to scream, the leaf blower. Reminds me of all the times we just stuff things down because we can't do reactivity as a society. think the string beans, the salmon bones, some carrots. I'm gonna chop up an onion. I think those can all potentially go on one tray. I'll see. I'll see if it fits. I really don't understand these onions that like start rotting midway through. How do you do that? Oh, I also defrosted those potatoes that I cooked. So those potatoes could get roasted too. Yum. Or boiled. Either way. Lots of things we could be making. We could have greens and mashed potatoes. Put some of this greens. My brain is going now. Okay. I am going to fish my blanched greens out of the pot. I'm gonna go ahead and blanch one of these cognac cakes since I have a pot of water here. Don't know what I'm gonna make with it, but I'll probably eat it throughout the week. Fun. Here's the dumplings. The last remaining dumplings. Oh, there's actually more than I thought there were. There's like 5 in here. Okay. Let's finish them off. Yes, correct. It's like a nearly 0-calorie food made from yam. A sort of mountain yam, not like a sweet potato yam. Very different plant. But you could definitely Google it. Konjac, I think is one way to spell it. I think it's becoming fatty because like so many people are back to the heroin chic of the 90s and 2000s. So like the 0-calorie foods are on the rise again. But my mom used to feed it to me because it would be good for cholesterol. And I had really high cholesterol even as a skinny person. We have 6 dumplings, okay? Nice. 6 dumplings. Here's the salmon that I got from H Mart. It's like the bony part, basically, where they take away the fillets, and this is what you're left with. $2 per pound, so $3.24 is what I got. I think I'm just going to put it all on a sheet tray. I'm thinking the beans can go on the bottom of the sheet tray, some carrots and onions too, and then they'll just kind of cook in the salmon fat. And then once the salmon is roasted, I will pull off the meat, and then we can reserve the bones for later roasting or present roasting. I do need to season each layer of the veggies so that they all have flavor. I'm gonna use this test batch. This is one of our new launches, a test batch of it, at least, umami steak seasoning. It has like shallots and garlicky bits. I think it's gonna work great. And yes, there is salt in this blend already, so I don't gotta worry about it. I'm gonna push them out into the edges because I think the center will have more fish and the edges might be less loved and more burny. It's already dropped. It dropped last Sunday. This one, and then there's also a sumac lemon pepper, and there's also a low and slow chili powder. Those are our 3 newest blends that dropped last Sunday. Definitely got a little bit of fish juice on my floor. Let us take care of that before I step all over it. Okay, BRB. Oh yeah, and if you missed it, these two just came back in stock. The Cinnamon Sugar Crunch and the Toasted Pepita Pumpkin Spice with real pumpkin seeds inside. They sold out within like a week or two of launching it. This is the other new one that just launched. This is a test batch, Sumac Lemon Pepper. My test batch, unfortunately, as you can see, clogged a little bit with humidity. So, I'm just gonna use a spoon. Chunk it up. It's really easy to chunk up. No anti-caking agent, so this happens when there's humidity, aka if you're cooking and you're like dashing this right above the steaming food, your spices will kick up. But sumac lemon pepper with real lemon powder made from like whole lemons, so fruit, skin, all of it. Really nice perky flavor with a little bit of savory note from the cured sumac. Extra citrusy and bright. Also got a little bit of gingery spice from the black pepper, and there's I think 23% salt in here. So I'm gonna put this over the fish because I think it'll go nicely with the fattiness of the salmon. And I almost never roast salmon, so I have no idea what temperature I should set the oven to, but I'm going to do 375, which I feel like is a safe bet for most things anyway. King Caraway, I think it might be back, but I'm not sure. We're definitely not going to send out a newsletter for it because I don't think it's a very popular spice. But I think if you sign up for the back in stock emails, it'll go out once we restock. So you can get an alert, especially for spices that you care about. I usually do boil it, but I'm not doing it today. because honestly, I kind of want to see what roasted salmon flesh tastes like. Not to say that there's a lot of meat on these bones, but um, I don't feel like eating boiled salmon today. And I also, I find that the salmon broth can be too fatty and oily sometimes, and it makes the grains that I cook in it taste overwhelming, which is why I put all these roasted veggies underneath so that all the fat can like drain out into the tray and hopefully get absorbed by the onions, the carrots, and the beans. That way I'm almost like stir frying roasting these vegetables and having that fishy fat kind of just work its way into the vegetables, hoping that it's like more appetizing, honestly. So yeah, we'll see. There's like a lot of fatty strips underneath the skin. You can see the white butteriness of that. That's going to render a lot of salmon oil. So I'll just slip it in. Should probably put a timer on that. I don't mind when salmon is overcooked, so I'm just gonna put a half hour. But for thin pieces of salmon like that, if you don't want to overcook it, I feel like 15 minutes probably would do it. But I really want to render the fat a lot so that the veggies get roasted. So I'm just gonna let the salmon cook. Okay, now I'm gonna turn the heat back on and I'm gonna cook these dumplings once it comes up to a boil. Then we can dump this blanching water. Let me fish out these greens. These are the lamb's quarters. They almost look like amaranth. I think they're in the same family. I'm so in love with this green. They wilt beautifully and it turns creamy and nutty and just delicious. But since I already have like a whole bunch of greens cooked and the beans and the carrots are roasting, I'm just going to put this in the fridge now, rinsed. Wow, I'm already smelling the salmon. That is cooking fast. The oven isn't even up to temp yet. Wow. Oh my goodness. $1 for 5 pounds of potatoes. I don't know if I've seen a deal that good. Congratulations. You definitely win that one. Okay, my farmer's market didn't have bulk bags today, so I went to my grocery store, and apparently these are like from upstate. So I got a bag of ginger gold apples, and I got a bag of red delicious apples, which I know most people are like, ew, red delicious, why would you do that to yourself? But I will say, the red delicious that I've had, like literally picked from the farm upstate myself, or you know, picked that same day, they tasted great. I love red delicious that are fresh, so I wanted to give these a try. Obviously I don't expect a whole lot out of them, but I figured we'd do a little tasting of how these compare to normal ones. These are apparently 4-pound bags, and I got them for I think $3.50 something each, so $7 for 8 pounds of apples. And I tend to really like ginger golds too. So let's try one of each. Sounds like you're gonna make some delicious Ethiopian food. I'm happy for you. Ready? This one has more of a scent. This one is much plainer. Not bad, but definitely not farmer's market level, but also not like grocery store normal level. This one is halfway between grocery store usual and half picked, probably closer to the grocery store than the fresh picked. And then this one is pretty on par. It's lacking a little bit of floral fragrance, but the crisp, the juiciness, the fresh, sweet, honey-like notes, pretty on point. I cooked some Bartlett pears, or Anjou pears last night. These are like really nice and mushy. They could be great in baked goods. Like just totally turns into cream. But I don't know what I would bake them in. I feel like I'm just eating them. What do you guys think? Should we bake something? Now that the oven is on? Or I could just keep eating them. I have some sorghum and millet flour. I also have some instant oats. I wonder if we should make like a crumble. But I feel like the pears would do better in a cake. I feel like they could do better in a cake. Also, baked goods with not a lot of fat in them tend to be really disappointing. So I'm trying to see what fat we can use. Okay, y'all, vitamin time. Let's take our vitamins, shall we? Guys, I'm off of cheese, remember? The cholesterol. I would love to have some Manchego though. Sounds great. Okay. We're gonna use our spork. Get some veggies in our bowl. Sorry, couldn't see that. There's 2 more in there. I'm just gonna sit first. Sit and eat. Okay. Cheers! Here are the last of Grandma's dumplings. Emotionally loaded food, y'all. Let's think about, I wonder if the pears could be mashed up to make like a pancake mix. I feel like gluten-free pancakes are probably very appetizing. Oh, this light is too bright. Is that better? Is that better? The light was too bright for me. Yeah, maybe like a pear pancake batter. I wonder if that would do. Oh man. I took out my winter clothing from the storage tubs, put them on hangers, and then put the summer clothing away. And when I opened up my closet, the smell of Grandma came back. And it's because one of the clothing tubs used to belong to her stuff when she was at her nursing home. It was like in her closet basically for almost 3 years, right? Since Mom passed. 2000. She passed away, yeah, 3 years. And like for some reason, I cleaned the hell out of that tub. I cleaned everything out of that tub. I like sprayed that tub. I wiped that tub like 3-4 times. But the smell is just so present. It was like so strong when I opened it up. And it's unfortunately not like a pleasant smell. I don't like it. But it was so weird. It was almost like her presence was so lingering and strong. Yeah, all these little landmines of memories and what feels like the past but isn't the past. You know, what do we call these things that are not past but are not here in the present? The dumplings taste off too. What is this? What's happening, guys? So weird. They almost taste like, I've never had this happen with frozen dumplings before. They almost taste rancid, which is weird, because this is like a rancidity that I associate with nuts, not with dumplings. And I don't understand how things could have gone rancid in the freezer. Oh my god. That was so much chili oil that just fell out. Yeah, I'm very puzzled. Things feel off these days, not gonna lie. I'm not gonna tell you everything feels great. They don't. They feel so weird. They don't feel bad. They just feel kind of like haunted lately. I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, a lot of strange feelings. I hope I don't have COVID. No symptoms, at least. I wonder also if it's because I'm eating them with the greens. Let me finish my greens first. What are sun eruption stuff? What does that mean? What does that mean for us? Sun eruption. Sounds big. What is the impact of solar flares on us? I don't know anything about solar flares. Let me heat up some of the imitation crab. Okay, the fish is definitely cooked, but I just ripped some of the fattier bits off to cover the vegetables so that they can all cook a little more evenly. A lot less fat is rendering than I expected. So I'm going to turn up the heat to 400. We'll see. Wow. No direct impact, but fatigue, headaches, and possibly heart attacks. Memo, you smell the salmon? Hi, baby. I can't give him any food. I think it makes him sick. Sadly. Freddie was never this sensitive, but I think Memo's stomach is especially sensitive, so I can't risk it. He didn't even finish the churro this morning. He doesn't like the camera. It's very warm here. Can I get by yet? Just need some chili oil, babes. Oh, I hope you like the little memo cameo. Maybe he'll come back. I just put some chili oil in the greens. Look at him peeping out the corner. He is such a handsome boy and very hard to take care of. Sounds delicious. So tasteless. Possibly even more tasteless than tofu. So, purely for texture, I think. Are you hungry, bud? You just ate grass today. You didn't eat anything else. You want an apple? Have an apple? Hi. Why are you such a scaredy cat? Why are you such a scaredy cat? You're scared of everything. You have to eat your dry kibble so we don't throw up and diarrhea all over the place. You have to eat your little cancer kibble. Cancer kibble. He's finally starting to eat the $60 bag of cancer kibble because I am giving him only churro and lolly besides that. No wet food. I think the wet food was making him really sick. He hasn't diarrheaed since we stopped the wet food. He's down to like poops every other day, sometimes daily, but they're pretty solid poops. And he hasn't upchucked food. He's back to his kind of like empty stomach, small voms, but no huge floods of voms, which is good because I couldn't keep waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning to clean that up. Hi, are you biting me? Are you hungry? You trying to eat me? Go eat your kibble. It's on the bed. Juicy apple. Do you want a juicy apple? This is what I do all day. Just sit on the floor, eat, and let my cat bump into me. Living the life, y'all. Living the life. You're missing it right now, but he's licking his butthole. Clean butthole? Okay. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna give it a toss, and then I'll put it back in the oven for like 10 more minutes, I think. Then I think it's pretty cooked. The fat is rendering. 400, guys. 400 is the temperature to aim for. Sorry, buddy. I can't give you any of this. You know that. You know that. All right. Let's try to see if he'll go into the bedroom and eat. Do you want to eat? Do you want to eat? Do you want a new lolly even though you haven't finished the other lollies? Do you want a new lolly, baby? Just endless amounts of treats for you, babes. Just endless. Endless amounts of treats for you. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What about a chicken lolly? Do you want a chicken lolly? Hey, do you want one?
Nice job. You finished the lolly. What a feat. Yay. Yay. Good job. Bye.
Alright, I'm gonna wait for this to come out and then I think I'm gonna end the live. My energy is so gone. I have a sheet tray of salmon bone, farmer's market string beans, carrots, onions in the oven. It's gonna come out soon. And I'm gonna clean my knobs while we wait. Hi babes, you're back? Okay guys, I'm gonna let it, the oven is off. I'm gonna let it sit in there for 10 more minutes. In the meantime, I'm gonna clean my sink because it's really grimy in there. And this is just what I do while I have time. Clean it up, clean it up. Unfortunately, my life is pretty boring now, so. But Emma's watching though. He's watching right there. I honestly think he's still waiting for salmon. Are you waiting for salmon? I've cooked you salmon before. Last year. During the heat wave. You didn't touch it at all. And then I screamed at you. That was the only time I screamed at you because I was so overheated and worried for you. And I had gone out on a 95-degree day to boil you salmon and you didn't even touch it, man. You didn't even touch it. So don't even come at me now for salmon. Now I'm going to take out my salmon bag trash. You want to come with me to take out some trash? No? No? Not your thing? Thank you for the congratulations on the better stools. Who'd have thought? This is my 30s, wishing that my cat has good poop. What a life. Delicious. Some of the bones have gotten crunchy already. Wow. I should potentially get the veggies off of this tray and keep roasting the salmon so that the salmon can get crunchy. What if the entire salmon gets crunchy? I wonder. Wow. Shall we taste a little bit of that? Bit of veggies. Yeah, some bones are definitely not crunchy, but some did get crunchy, so this will become a little hazardous. He's just inching closer and closer. Get us a little bit of gelatinous. I've been thinking that I might need to eat a lot more bone stuff for my joints. Maybe I need like some natural collagen in the mix. Maybe that's what I'm missing. Skin and bones. What do you think, Memo? This looks nice and tender. I will offer you the salmon as a courtesy, Memo. Would you like to smell it? Thank you for joining me today, folks. This is what we cooked. Sheet tray, onions, carrots, string beans with a little bit of nicely spiced salmon. Some blackened spices. Oh man. Perfect. Easy and perfect. Vegetables are tender and creamy, nicely seasoned. Got a chunk of fatty skin here. Big bite. Hi. I think he's waiting for me to get out of the kitchen because his pastime is staring up against the curtains over there because I think he sees birds. So he just waits for me to get out of here so that he can have his alone time with the birds. I used to think he was interested in what I was doing, but actually I noticed that every time he was in the kitchen, when I came into the kitchen for food, he would run out. So I realized that he actually just wanted the kitchen to himself. What a funny little guy. Well, we made ourselves some nutritious food today, folks. One bone. All I can say is, if you dare to eat salmon carcass, that is the bits of the spine with the fillets taken away, just be aware that there are bones everywhere. But because it's next to bone and skin, it's also the most flavorful, so there's a payoff. Trade-offs. I'm being watched over by a cat for some reason. He never jumps onto counters though, so I don't think I have to worry about the food getting flumped over. But who knows, maybe one day it'll be too enticing. Oh man, my joints, they're no bueno. Alright everyone, I hope you have a great week. Me and Memo wish you well, and I hope you take care of yourself, and dream big, or dream weird. Any which way you can get it, just dream, which means you have to get some sleep in. And yeah, that's it. Here's to another week. Hope we make it. Take care, y'all.